Morning, everybody. Come along for the ride. Let's see what we can get done today. Rosa, are you going potty? Goofy dog. Gotta grab all my crap. Got my phone charger, sunglasses, headset, my drinking cup, and camera mounts. I kind of did a little thinking, and I've noticed my last several videos is just me babbling to you guys in the camera. So I decided today we're going to do some action shots of the sprayer running and things like that, and kind of go over the sprayer a little bit, because I'm sure some of you don't know the first thing about one of these sprayers. So that's what we're going to do today. It's still a little on the early side to fire the thing up, out of respect for the neighbors across the street and stuff. We really don't like to fire equipment up until 8 o'clock. During harvest and planting seasons, usually we'll fire things up and roll as quickly as we can. But during off seasons, when we're not time crunched, we don't like to create a lot of noise late in the evening or early in the morning. So I'm going to kind of go around the sprayer a little bit and show you guys everything. I guess I should turn some lights on for you. This is a John Deere 4730 high wheel sprayer. It has 100-foot booms. We say they're 100 foot. They're actually like 98 feet. It does a top speed of 33 miles an hour going down the road. When we're spraying, we run between 10 and 12 miles an hour, and we're putting on 10 gallons an acre of spray. They're called 10-gallon tips. We have low drift nozzles on here, so it makes a larger water droplet, and it falls straight down and hits the plant rather than kind of a mist, and where the wind can carry the mist away and things like that. What we do is we also have an 800-gallon tank on here, so with 10-gallon tips you can spray, they say you can spray 80 acres with 800 gallons. Realistically, with overlap and things like that, you can really only get about 70 acres out of it. This right here, this is where we load the water. This button here, it's got crap on it. I need to wash it off still. This button here is what they call the load and the spray. When it's down in the spray mode, that's when you're out spraying and the engine's idled down and everything else. When you turn it on, or turn it up to load, it idles the engine up, it turns on the pumps and everything, so you can actually pump. It has the capability of pumping the chemical from these tanks into the machine itself, and it has the capability of pumping water from a tank into itself. This is what they call an inductor. So we open this up, and as you can see in there, this is a little nozzle. You push it down and it rinses out jugs. But what the inductor does is we add all our chemical right here in the inductor, and it sucks it up into the machine, into that big stainless steel tank up there. It's kind of hard to see with it folded up. And that tank is where all of our mixture, water, everything goes. And there's a gauge right here. That gauge tells me, it has a gauge with a little sight glass, and it tells me how many gallons of product I have in the machine itself. And then there's also a gauge up in the cab, an electronic gauge that kind of, it meters what's going out, so I know when I'm getting low, things like that. We are using a chemical called MV6 Max, which is glyphosate. Roundup is the name brand term for it. We're also using Enlist 1. Enlist 1 is a type of 2,4-D that kills broadleafs. And then we have crop oils, defoamer, water conditioners, things like that we all add in as well. And all that does is it helps neutralize the water. It helps the chemical work better is what it does. It's a lot of additives and a lot of mixtures, but we have, this machine carries 800 gallons of liquid, okay? There's, for a complete fill up, you have 20 gallons of glyphosate, 20 gallons of Enlist, because we're doing a pint or quart per acre. Yes, a quart per acre. So there's basically 80 quarts of Enlist, 80 quarts of MB6 Max, which is Roundup. And then there's 1.5 quarts per 100 gallons of water for crop oil and things like that. So realistically, there's only, out of this 800 gallons, there's technically only 45 gallons of chemical. So that's how much you dilute the chemical down. So it's 45 gallons of chemical to 800 gallons of water. So it gets diluted down pretty good. But it's very effective in what it does. But yeah, that's kind of like the quick rundown of it. When we get out in the fields, I'll show you what all the buttons and things do. And then we'll take some action shots and you can kind of see the sprayer in action. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the field. So when I get to a field, the first thing I do is I turn my GPS on. You select the farm you're at, which we are at Fish Lake Road. You select the field that we're doing, which we're going to do field number 1. I have to turn my guidance on. And the white line there is my AB line. The AB line is what the computer reads through the GPS, which tells me whether or not I'm on track or not, and that's how the auto steer works. Next thing you want to do is turn your auto steer on, and you're good to go. Now this screen here, if you look right there, it says 750 gallons. I have 800 gallons on, but that meter there's flow sensors back there that meter how many gallons are left on the machine. This pump, if you run this pump dry, you're going to burn it up instantly. So I leave a 50-gallon buffer in there. That way the pump never runs dry. So when that meter gets to 0, I shut the machine off, we go back, fill up, and come back out to the field and finish whatever needs to be done, or move to the next field or whatever. We put on a rate of 10 gallons per acre. You can see my different rates right here. The yellow highlighted is 10 gallons per acre. I've got 8 gallons and 15 gallons. So depending on what chemical I'm applying is depending on what rate I put it on. Right now I'm putting on 10 gallons per acre, and this machine will adjust the amount of gallons going out of the tips for my speed. So if I'm doing 10 miles, if I do like 8 miles an hour, it'll back off the pressure so it's still applying 10 gallons per acre at 8 miles an hour. And if I speed up, then it'll flow harder. It'll have a harder mist out there, but there's a limitation there because these tips are 10-gallon tips. You can only go so fast for the tips. So if we start exceeding 12 miles an hour, or I think it's 11 with these tips, if you start going too fast, then it'll throw an alarm on here saying that the rate is too low because it can only apply X amount of gallons for the speed. So there you go. So now what we're going to do is we'll unfold and turn the pumps on and start spraying. I also forgot to show you this. This button here, right there, if I hit that, it says canopy and it goes green. What it does is, this is programmed so it keeps the booms 36 inches above canopy. Canopy is the height of the plants that you're spraying. So what it does is, there's sensors on the wings. So as I'm going along, if I get into some uneven terrain where I'm moving up and down, rocking side to side, the booms will adjust up and down to keep that 36 inches above canopy. Shot where I drove over you guys and was spraying, yeah, I got some chemical on the camera, but that's alright, it wipes off. Good thing I don't lick the camera. We're folding up and going to the next field now. Oakland County's completely done now, so now we're going to start spraying Genesee County and see what we can get done the rest of the day and kind of go from there. Houston, we have a problem. I pulled into the barn to fill up. You guys were like really close, weren't you? And I noticed some oil leaking. So I crawled under here and there's oil spray all over under here, so it was hard to figure out where the oil was coming from. So I had to fire the machine up to figure it out, and come to find out it's leaking from this little actuator right here. So I don't know if it's just an O-ring leaking or what's going on, but regardless, I need to get that apart so I can figure it out, so I can order a new one and get it here ASAP. This could be a relatively easy fix, I'm thinking. I got oil pouring out of this thing, so I'm gonna have to replace a lot of oil. But right there, this little doohickey goes in there, and you see that O-ring that's broke? So I'm hoping it's just an O-ring and there's nothing else going on with it. Regardless, I guess I'm going to a dealer or something to find that O-ring, because I would assume it's under a fair amount of pressure. So I went to John Deere. That O-ring, they don't sell just the O-ring. They sell it in a hydraulic actuator rebuild kit for $130. And I won't be able to get it till Monday. So I went to Gilroy's, and I'm gonna gamble 73-cent O-ring from Gilroy's and see if that gets me up and going. I don't know if it will, just because of the fact that the O-rings at Gilroy's are mainly designed for water and not hydraulic oil, let alone high pressure hydraulic oil. So we'll see. For 73 cents, I'll take that gamble. It's holding. I'm not 100% confident with it, but it's holding so far. So I decided what I'm going to do is, I filled the sprayer up. I'm going to spray the field that's right behind the barn here. It's about 25 acres. And see if it holds. If it holds spraying this field, then I'll venture, you know, out and spray some more fields. But we'll see. Fingers crossed. The 73-cent Fix-It is holding. Hopefully it holds long enough I can finish the rest of the fields we got left. I have about 150 acres left to spray, and then we're done spraying for now. I should have it done tomorrow, but they're talking rain by tomorrow afternoon. Who knows? That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.